Hello, my name is Chad, and this video is all about what happens right after that moment. You've probably met somebody before, or you've introduced yourself to somebody before and been like, that was cool, we kind of clicked. You've probably also met somebody before and been like, meh. A little bit let down. If you choose to watch this video to the end, you will get much better at introducing yourself, even if you're really, really good at it. If you're not really good at it, there's some very low-hanging fruit, beautiful tips that you will greatly appreciate, and it will change the way that you meet people for the rest of your life. And the first concept that I'm going to offer you is, when you introduce yourself, are you giving a synopsis or a story? A synopsis is like, give me your LinkedIn rap sheet. Boring. I'm already half asleep because I could just go to LinkedIn, scroll through real quick, and get the bits. And so saying, I used to work here, and then I spent 20 years working here, and then 10 years working here, isn't all that interesting. Whereas if somebody says, what do you do? And you answer with story of something that you did last week to create some impact, solve some problem, get your work done. For example, version A, synopsis. We were introducing each other right now. I could say, hey, I'm Chad, and they say, what do you do? And I could respond with, oh, well, I'm a professional speaker and an author, right? Statement. I could also say, I've got a little bit of a weird job. 2 weeks ago, I was actually giving the opening keynote at this conference in San Diego, and so I'm a speaker. I get invited to travel around and speak about how do you ask powerful questions and create conversations that matter. Although sometimes, and pertinent to this video, I feel like we should have published Ask Powerful Questions with the sequel, How to Create Great Answers. And this, here in that idea, lies a secret to introducing yourself better. You can't introduce yourself in an interesting, creative, curiosity-sparking way unless you know some cool, interesting, curiosity-sparking things that you've done or about yourself. And so I had a coach, actually, named Mark Levy, who's actually Simon Sinek's coach, credited for helping kind of come up with this golden circle, focus on your why concept. And I've hired him to help me poke my own thinking a bit. And one of the first assignments that he gave me was get a blank document and write down 100 cool things that you've done. There is no better way to feel not cool than to try to write 100 cool things that you've done, because it's really hard. And yet, I now have a list. I've eked out a list of 100 things that I think are cool. And so when I'm introducing myself to somebody, they're top of mind. I have these stories that are curiosity provoking, and they're not all to puff me up and make me look good to somebody else, right? When you're introducing yourself to somebody, you want something curiosity provoking, but you don't want to be bragging to that person as you're just meeting them. In fact, you want to be curiosity provoking enough, and then I would ask you the question, which I'm pretty sure has been written down in a bunch of wonderful classics before, but it's the question, is it better to be interesting or interested? I think the answer probably is both. A little bit interesting, but mostly interested. And so that's where I would then turn and invite you, as you're introducing yourself, to really be deliberate about asking really phenomenal questions that make the other person feel seen, heard, and understood. And once they share that, rather than thinking about yourself and how you're going to respond, think about what question you might ask to take it one layer deeper or one layer wider into what they've said. If you want to introduce yourself in a way that gets remembered, remember John Hodgman's quote, specificity is the soul of narrative. It's the reason why a synopsis, not that interesting. It's just like this rap sheet that you could find on Google. But when you share a story that's really specific about the details, about this one particular person that did this thing and said this and reacted this way, and that is what reminded you that you love your job, or that's what reminded you that you love your family, that is going to stick in somebody's brain much more than a list of things you've done in your life. Hello, I'm Chad. Have an awesome day.